Alright, welcome to part 2 of this video on how to do a valve clearance adjustment on a Honda Prelude. If you haven't watched part 1 already, I suggest you go back and start with that. Just to review where we're at, we've got the valve cover off of this car. The car has also been lifted and the driver's side wheel has been removed so that we can get at the crank pulley, which we'll do later. Right now we're going to get ready to start doing the adjustment, and to make that a little bit easier, I'm going to remove the spark plugs as well, because then as we turn the engine to the different positions it needs to be in, we won't have to be compressing the cylinders, and it'll just make turning the engine a lot easier. So to start, I'm just going to move the camera and then we'll take the spark plugs out. So to take the spark plugs out, I'm just using a simple ratchet right here with an extension and then a 5/8 spark plug socket on it. You can tell it's a spark plug socket because it has a rubber insert on the inside to help grab the spark plug out of the hole. Doesn't matter what order you take them out, but make sure you put them away in an order so that they go back into the same hole. Just drop the socket in and then they should easily twist out. There's the first one. Still good because I changed them not that long ago. Put that up there. Just do each one. As you go, try not to get any dirt or anything like that into your valve train. We could have taken the spark plugs out earlier. Would have made no difference. You can do it that way if you want. Second one. So once again, the reason we're doing this is that with the spark plugs removed, there's no way that the cylinder can form any compression as we spin the engine, and that'll just make it easier to turn the engine to the positions that we need to do the valve adjustment. So, last one. And there. Spark plugs are out, so now we'll move the camera again and we'll get access to the crank pulley bolt so that we can turn the engine to the position that we need it to do the first valve adjustment. Okay, so we're down here now with the exposed wheel area of the car. The car's been lifted up, and we need to get access to the crank pulley in order to easily turn the engine. We don't want to be turning the engine by grabbing at the timing belt or forcing the cam gears around or anything like that. So the easiest way to do it is to actually just use the crank pulley bolt, which is easily accessible because Honda has put a little plug in the splash guard under here. You just grab that, pull it out, and then right behind in there is the crank bolt. And you can just use your lug wrench or a ratchet or something like that, put it on there, and then by spinning that, we want to spin it counterclockwise, because when the engine spins to the front of the car, we can just take that and we can use that to rotate the engine to the position that we need, and it shouldn't take too much effort to just spin it. Anyway, we're ready now. We have everything in place that we need to turn the engine to the correct position. So I'll move the camera again and show you how that's to be done. Okay, so what we want to do is we want to set the engine to top dead center on the number 1 piston. So the number 1 piston is the one that's on the timing belt side of the engine. So it'll be the first one right here, and then they go 1, 2, 3, 4 towards the transmission. To set the number 1 piston at top dead center, we need to rotate the engine, always counterclockwise, so that these up marks on the cam gears are pointing straight up, and there's also a little notch in the edge of the cam gear that will line up with the body of the top of the head. And so I'll just throw my wrench onto the crank pulley bolt, and I'll turn the engine counterclockwise until we line it up at top dead center for the first piston. And that'll put us in the position that we need to do the first adjustment. So we're a little bit past where we need to be right now. So to start, I'm just going to have to spin. Here comes the up mark. So we want it pointing straight up away from the head. So that won't be necessarily straight up and down, because the engine sits in the car at an angle. Okay, let's take a look. A little bit more. Right about there. And you can look and you can see there's also a notch in the cam gear that helps you locate that top dead center on the number 1 piston. So now that we've got that zeroed in, about where we want it to be, we're ready to do the first adjustment. Okay, so we're all set to begin the adjustment of the valves on the number 1 cylinder. Going to have to go to part 3 of this set of videos to watch the actual adjustment, and we'll proceed from there. Everything's ready to go.